Have you ever stopped to think about how a country actually builds its digital future? You know, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's a deliberate, piece-by-piece strategy. Today, we're going to unpack the Philippines' tech blueprint, a fascinating story told through 4 key pillars, built over more than a decade. So, let's dive in.
So our story really kicks off way back in 2012, and it brings us all the way to today and even a little bit into the future. Each of these 4 pillars was put in place at a very specific time for a very specific reason, with each one building on the one that came before it. Let's walk through them one by one.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, protecting your digital identity. Then we'll see how the focus shifts to arming people with the right skills, and after that, making the government itself more modern. And finally, we'll look at how the nation is gearing up for the AI revolution.
All right, let's start at the very beginning with Pillar 1. Back in 2012, the first crucial step was taken. And you gotta ask, why? Well, as the digital world was just starting to boom, it became super clear that before you can build anything digital, you have to build trust. The Data Privacy Act was designed to do exactly that, protect you.
Now, the law introduces this term that sounds a little technical, the data subject. But honestly, it's really simple. A data subject is just any person whose information is being collected or used. So yeah, in short, that's you. It's me, it's literally all of us.
So what kind of info are we talking about? The law calls it personal information, and that's basically anything that can point back to you as an individual. We're talking your name, your address, your phone number, even your email address. All the little data points that make you you. But the law gets even more specific. It creates this special, extra protected category called sensitive personal information. This is the really private stuff. Things like your health records, your race, your political views, or your government ID numbers. This stuff gets the highest level of protection, and for very good reason. And look, this protection isn't just some vague promise. It comes with real, actual rights. The Data Privacy Act basically gives every Filipino a toolkit to control their own info. You have the right to know who's using your data and why, the right to see it, to fix it if it's wrong, and even the right to tell them to delete it. This is what building digital trust actually looks like. Now for our second pillar. Fast forward a full decade from securing data, the national focus starts to shift from protection to empowerment. I mean, it makes sense, right? Once you've got that foundation of trust, the next logical step is to invest in the people who are going to build and succeed in this new digital world. The mission of the 2022 Digital Workforce Act is spelled out right there in the law. It's a direct answer to what people call the fourth industrial revolution, this new era of AI, automation, and crazy fast tech changes. The whole point is to make sure Filipinos have the skills not just to keep up, but to actually lead the way. And this isn't just wishful thinking. The law lays out a very specific 5-step national plan. It kicks off with figuring out what skills people already have. Then it creates a roadmap for the jobs of the future, builds training programs, and even provides financial help for individuals and small businesses to get on board.
But this brings up a really important question. Think about it. You've now got this whole population with protected data and up-to-date digital skills. But what happens when they have to do something basic, like interact with the government? If they're trying to get a permit and the system is still stuck in the paper age, well, all that progress just grinds to a halt.
And that's exactly where our third pillar comes into play, the E-Governance Act. The spotlight now turns inward, focusing on totally transforming the government's own systems into something modern, digital, and efficient. Something that can actually serve its newly skilled citizens.
This slide just perfectly captures the goal. We're talking about moving away from that old world of paper forms, endless lines, and visiting a million different offices. The vision is a digital-first government, where all the services are connected online, everything is fast, and you can get things done 24/7 from literally anywhere.
So the ultimate goal isn't just to get the government online. It's to make it truly integrated, totally transparent, and centered around you, the citizen. Each one of those words is key to making this whole massive project a success.
Okay, so we've got protected data, we've got skilled people, and we've got a government that's modernizing. So what's left? Well, the final pillar looks to the future. With all those foundations in place, the nation can finally start to tap into one of the most powerful technologies out there, artificial intelligence. To get why a national AI strategy is so urgent, you just have to look at what's happening globally. The number of research papers on AI has just exploded, nearly tripling since 2010. This isn't some tiny academic field anymore. It is a global tidal wave of innovation, and no country can afford to just sit on the sidelines.
And all this research, it's not just sitting in a library. This chart of AI patents shows a huge jump, especially in just the last few years. This is the moment when those abstract ideas turn into real products and services, the kind of stuff that will shape our entire economy for decades.
So, what's really driving this explosion? Overwhelmingly, it's machine learning. This is the type of AI where systems aren't just programmed with rules, they actually learn and get better from data. It's the engine behind this entire revolution, and its incredible growth shows why a national strategy isn't just a nice-to-have anymore, it's essential.
And here is the bottom line for the Philippines. Get this. According to one report, generative AI alone could unlock nearly 80 times billion dollars in economic value for the country. That is a massive potential boost for industries, for jobs, for the whole country's development.
So let's bring this all home. We've walked through 4 different pillars, each one built carefully over time. But as you've seen, they aren't just separate projects. They are all part of a single, cohesive blueprint for building a digital nation from the ground up.
You know, you could really boil this entire journey down to just 4 words. It started with protection for our data. Then it moved to empowering people with new skills. Then the focus turned to modernizing the process of government. And all of it, every single step, is designed to lead to progress, fueled by things like AI.
You can totally see how each step just logically builds on the last one. You can't have a confident digital workforce if they're worried about their data privacy. You can't have a great e-government system if people don't have the skills to use it. And you can't really jump into AI without all those other pieces already in place. It's a clear, long-term vision.
So, the plans are on the table, the framework is being built, and that kind of leaves us with one final thought. A blueprint is just a guide. The real question is how everyone, from the government and big companies all the way down to each one of us, is going to help build what comes next.